Norway is a land of magic. Not the kind you see in movies, but real, breathtaking magic. Up north, the northern lights put on a show that no special effects can top. The country experiences the midnight sun where daylight refuses to end for weeks. The fjords are so stunning they have been named UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And yes, this is the land of Vikings, the fearless explorers and fierce warriors who once ruled these rugged shores. It is these wonders that make Norway feel like a legend. Anywhere else, they would call it magic. In Norway, it's just life. With 65% of the country covered in mountains and one of the largest fjords in the world, this place is a land of wonder. We will start in the deep blue waters of Geirangerfjord and end in the strong tides of Saltstraumen. Geirangerfjord is a place of incredible beauty that feels almost unreal. With its steep cliffs, tall waterfalls, and deep blue waters, it is one of Norway's most famous natural wonders. When you stand at the top of the fjord, you can see why it is known as one of the most beautiful spots on the planet. But what makes Geirangerfjord so special? It is a fjord that stretches about 15 kilometers inland, with cliffs that rise up to 1,400 meters on either side. The deep blue waters are so clear you can see straight to the bottom on a sunny day, and the surrounding cliffs are covered in lush greenery that adds to the fjord's almost otherworldly charm. Located in the southwestern part of Norway, Geirangerfjord is one of those places where you can't help but feel tiny in the best possible way. At the very end of this natural wonder is the small village of Geiranger, where the Geirangerfjord river empties into the fjord. This little village might be small, but it is the perfect spot to start your adventure. This is where you can get a boat to explore the fjord, hike up the surrounding cliffs, or just sit there and take in the views. And speaking of views, did you know Geirangerfjord is one of Norway's most visited tourist sites? It is no surprise, really. In 2005, it was even listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's how you can imagine how pretty it must be. Geirangerfjord is more than its spectacular scenery. It also has a story to tell. Along the fjord sides, you will find a number of now abandoned farms. These farms, which are perched high above the water, were once home to some seriously tough fellas who tried to eke out a living in this rugged environment. But as time went on, the harsh conditions and isolation proved too much, and the farms were abandoned. Of course, no discussion of Geirangerfjord would be complete without mentioning its famous waterfalls. The Seven Sisters and the Suter are two of the most iconic. They face each other across the fjord, and local legend has it that the suitor is forever trying to woo the seven sisters on the opposite side. It is a charming story, but just the sight of these waterfalls is enough to make anyone fall in love. Then there is the bridal veil, which delicately cascades over a rocky edge. When the sun hits it just right, it looks like a thin, translucent veil, hence the name. These waterfalls are practically legendary. Anyone who visits Norway never leaves its borders without feeling the spray of these waterfalls on their faces. Now, Geirangerfjord might seem like a peaceful paradise, but don't be fooled. It has a wild side too. The mountain Akkerneset, which is present over the fjord, is slowly eroding, and if it ever collapses, it could trigger a massive tsunami. This wave could hit Geiranger and nearby towns like Hellesylt in just 10 minutes. It sounds intense, but no need to worry. This hasn't stopped people from visiting, and it shouldn't stop you either. If anything, it adds a bit of adventure to the experience. If you want to visit this iconic place, there is no shortage of activities. You can take cruises that sail through the fjord and give you a chance to see all the natural beauty this place has to offer in the most majestic manner. If you are more of a hands-on explorer, kayaking is an awesome way to get up close to the fjord's deep blue waters. But if you are into hiking, there are trails around Geirangerfjord which you can explore. The hike to Skagaflar, which is an old mountain farm, is particularly popular and usually takes about 2 to 3 hours each way. But if you want more adventure than that, you will like this next place more. The place is Trolltunga, or the Troll's Tongue. It is one of Norway's most iconic spots, which is located near the town of Odda in the western part of Norway. The reason why it is so famous is this dramatic rock formation that juts out horizontally from the mountain. It gives you a breathtaking view of the scenery that is both terrifying and exhilarating. This place is perched about 1,100 meters above sea level, with a drop of nearly 700 meters straight down to the Ringedalsvatnet lake below. You can now see why people say Trolltunga is not for the faint of heart. What people like about it is its unique shape, which looks like a giant stone tongue sticking out from the cliff. Aside from the spectacular views, this place has impressive geological features. This rock formation is part of the Precambrian bedrock and was shaped during the last ice age, about 10,000 years ago. Back then, massive glaciers covered the region, and as they moved, they carved out the landscape. This left behind sharp cliffs and deep valleys. When the glacier's edges reached the cliff, it ground away the rock, eventually leaving behind this spectacular tongue of stone that we see today. But Trolltunga was not always a famous tourist hotspot it is now. Believe it or not, until 2010, fewer than 800 people made the trek to Trolltunga each year. It was a hidden gem, known only to the bravest hikers and locals. But within 10 to 12 years, that number reached 80,000. Blame it on social media, where Trolltunga quickly became famous as one of the most epic photo ops on the planet. Those pictures of people standing on the edge of the cliff with nothing but open space and air beneath them went viral and turned this remote location into a must-see destination. But to reach this place, you have to put in effort, a lot of it. So, if you are thinking about visiting Trolltunga, get ready for a challenge. The hike is no walk in the park, it is a serious commitment. The trail starts about 17 kilometers from Odda and takes you through some of the most rugged and beautiful terrain Norway has to offer. The city of Bergen is the nearest major city, but once you start the hike, you are in the wilderness. The round-trip trek is about 28 kilometers and takes around 10 to 12 hours to complete. If you are a new hiker, it could take even longer. The terrain is varied and demanding. There are steep inclines, rocky paths, and unpredictable weather. There are no shelters or supply stations along the way, just 2 emergency cabins if things go south. That's right, if you are in, you are all in. This is what makes the hike to Trolltunga so adventurous. You will need to bring everything you need with you, from food to water to proper hiking gear. But once you reach the top, every drop of sweat will feel worth it. When you finally arrive at Trolltunga, you are taken aback by the view. The sight of the Troll's Tongue jutting out over the fjord is surreal, and standing on the edge feels like being on top of the world. But don't get too carried away. This is a dangerous and rocky area, and one misstep could be disastrous. Despite the risks, the place is worth visiting. You get panoramic views of the surrounding mountains, the shimmering blue of Ringedalsvatnet below, and the thrill of standing on this incredible natural platform. After roaming at incredible heights, let's hike down to the land below, which has another mind-blowing place to offer. The Lofoten Islands are a stunning archipelago in northern Norway, just above the Arctic Circle. This group of islands is known for its dramatic landscapes. There are sharp, jagged mountains that rise straight out of the ocean around clear blue waters, with long stretches of sandy beaches on the sides. The combination of towering peaks and serene coastlines makes Lofoten one of the most beautiful places in the world. The towns here are small, but full of character. Svalbard is the largest and acts as the main hub, while Reine is often called the most beautiful village in Norway due to its picture-perfect setting. The islands are dotted with traditional red and yellow fishermen's cabins, known as råbyer. These colourful cabins add a splash of colour to the rugged green and grey scenery. These cabins were once used by fishermen, but are now a popular choice for visitors looking to stay in the heart of Lofoten's natural beauty. Even though this place is so close to the Arctic Circle, the climate here is relatively mild due to the Gulf Stream. It has warm, saline currents that prevent this part of Norway from freezing away. One of the main things that draws tourists to this far north is the outdoor activities. The rugged mountains make this place a dream for rock climbers. Geirangerfjord, which is located on Austvagoya Island, is a favourite spot for climbers, as it is surrounded by steep cliffs that offer routes for all levels. What's interesting about Geirangerfjord is that it is also home to one of the world's most impressive football pitches. This small artificial turf pitch is located on a rocky islet, surrounded by the sea. Just looking at this place from afar makes you forget about the rest of the world. Cycling is another fantastic way tourists use to explore Lofoten. The islands have beautiful roads that take you through a variety of landscapes, from coastal views to mountain passes. The best cycling route includes a ferry ride between Ballstad and Nordfjord. This ferry helps cyclists avoid the long, steep Napstram tunnel, which is not really ideal for biking. Instead, the ferry offers a shortcut across the fjord, leading to Nordfjord, which is one of Norway's oldest and best preserved fishing villages. This archipelago is also famous for its artistic community. The islands have inspired many artists, and you will find galleries and workshops scattered throughout the area. The natural light and magnificent landscapes provide endless inspiration for painters, photographers, and other creatives. But if you are looking for something more adventurous, Unstad Beach is famous for Arctic surfing. Yes, you can really surf in the Arctic. The water is icy cold, but surfers flock here throughout the year to catch waves and those breathtaking views. Other than this, there is one other place which gets the most tourists than the rest of the country. Pulpit Rock, or Preikestolen, is one of Norway's most famous landmarks, and it is easy to see why. This is a place where you can stand on a massive cliff that is 604 meters above the stunning Geirangerfjord, with nothing but air between you and the deep blue waters below. This natural rock platform is about 25 by 25 meters, which makes a perfect viewing spot that feels like it has been made just for taking in the breathtaking scenery. This place that almost feels man-made is located in the southern part of the Ryfylke district in Rogaland County, western Norway. Right in front of Preikestolen, you will find Lysefjord, which is a 42-kilometer-long fjord that stretches out into the distance, offering views that seem to go on forever. The nearest town is Jorpeland, just a short drive away, but the real gateway to the area is Stavanger, which is Norway's fourth largest city. Stavanger is only about an hour from the trailhead and is known for its rich history and as a jumping-off point for exploring some of Norway's most stunning natural sights, including Preikestolen. People love coming to Pulpit Rock for the views and the experience of standing on the edge of one of Norway's most dramatic cliffs. It is no wonder that hundreds of thousands of people come to Norway just to visit this place. The mix of adrenaline, natural beauty, and the chance to take some incredible photos make it a great destination. Getting to Preikestolen is part of the adventure. The hike to the top starts near the Preikestolen Mountain Lodge, which is about 17 kilometers from Jorpeland. The trail is an 8-kilometer round trip and usually takes 4 to 5 hours to complete. It is a moderately challenging hike. There are some steep sections and rocky paths that will make you question your decision to come here. But there are also a few flat areas where you can catch your breath. Along the way, you will pass through lush forests, cross small streams, and climb over rocky terrain with glimpses of the fjord below, getting more spectacular as you ascend. Preikestolen is located in the Ryfylke district, which is a region known for its dramatic landscapes, deep fjords, and rolling hills. This means if you visit Preikestolen, you can also visit the nearby areas. You can visit the city of Stavanger for a mix of outdoor activities and cultural experiences. Besides Preikestolen, the region is also home to Geirangerfjord, which is a giant boulder wedged between two cliffs. It is hanging 1,000 meters high in the air, and it is another popular hike for those seeking adventure and incredible views. Now, back to Pulpit Rock. The hike itself is well marked, but it does require some preparation. You need good hiking shoes, plenty of water, and a bit of stamina to make it to the top. The best time to visit is between April and October, with July and August being the busiest months. If you want to avoid the crowds and enjoy a quieter experience, try hiking early in the morning or later in the afternoon. Once you reach the top, take your time to enjoy the view, but be cautious. There are no safety rails, and the drop is steep. This place might draw hundreds of thousands of people every year, but deep down, everyone comes to Norway for something even more special. They come for the chance to witness the literal magic of the country, the Aurora Borealis. Norway is one of the most incredible places on Earth to witness the Northern Lights, also known as the Aurora Borealis. This natural light show is something everyone should experience at least once in their lifetime. Most people will argue here that the Northern Lights can be seen in many other places around the world, like Alaska, Canada, and Iceland. So why visit Norway? Well, because it is one of the best destinations to catch this astonishing display. Norway is perfectly positioned within the Northern Lights viewing zone, which makes it one of the best places to experience this natural wonder. The country's long, dark winters provide the ideal conditions for spotting the lights, with clear skies and minimal light pollution. Plus, how can we forget about the varied landscapes? You can get on top of fjords or climb mountains to witness this spectacle, with an extra layer of beauty to the experience. Because nothing can match the experience of watching the Northern Lights reflect off a still fjord, with snow-covered peaks framing the scene. It is truly magical. But what exactly are the Northern Lights? Why can you see them only in certain places? You see, the Aurora Borealis is a natural light phenomenon that occurs when charged particles from the sun collide with gases in Earth's atmosphere. These particles are carried by solar winds and, when they reach Earth, they interact with the magnetic field near the poles. This interaction causes the particles to release energy in the form of light. As a result, we see stunning, dancing lights in the sky that can range in color from green to pink, and sometimes even red or purple. The reason this phenomenon occurs primarily in polar regions is because Earth's magnetic field is strongest near the North and South poles, so it draws the charged particles toward these areas. Now, you cannot visit Norway at all times and expect to witness this spectacle. The best time to see the Northern Lights in Norway is from late September to early April. During these months, the nights are long and dark, and so you get the best chance to catch a glimpse of the lights. The peak viewing times are between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. when the sky is at its darkest. While you might get lucky outside of these hours, this is when the aurora is most likely to put on a show. There are many great spots to view the Northern Lights, but some places are better than others, so make sure to note them down. Tromsø is a place here that is often called the gateway to the Arctic, and it is one of the most popular spots for Northern Lights hunters. It is located right in the heart of the Aurora Zone and has excellent infrastructure for tourists. For a more remote experience, head to the Lofoten Islands or Senja, where the landscapes are just as stunning, but with fewer crowds. Another hidden gem is Alta, known as the City of the Northern Lights. Here, you can visit the Northern Lights Cathedral and learn more about the science behind the aurora. For the best experience, you should get away from city lights and find a spot with minimal light pollution. Places like Kvaløya, an island near Tromsø, or the Lyngen Alps, offer secluded, dark locations that are perfect for watching the lights dance across the sky. Some people even opt for Northern Lights tours, where guides take you to the best spots based on the weather and solar activity. The midnight sun is one of nature's most fascinating phenomena that occurs in this country. The name says it all. It is when the sun refuses to set, even at midnight. For a few weeks each summer, the sun stays up all day and night, casting a soft, golden light over everything. This happens in places above the Arctic Circle, where the tilt of the Earth keeps the sun visible 24 hours a day during the summer months. But it is not just the midnight sun that amuses everyone. What everyone loves is the unique light that comes with it. The sun hangs low in the sky, casting a warm, golden glow that makes everything look almost magical. It is a photographer's dream, with the golden hour lasting much longer than usual. Locals and visitors alike take advantage of the endless daylight to enjoy outdoor activities, whether it is fishing, kayaking, or just taking a peaceful midnight walk. In Norway, the midnight sun can be seen from late May to late July, depending on how far north you go. But if you really want to experience it, Svalbard is the place to be. Svalbard is located between mainland Norway and the North Pole, and it is the place with the longest midnight sun period in the whole world. Here, the midnight sun lasts from April 20th to August 23rd. That's more than 4 months of continuous daylight, where the sun never dips below the horizon. During this time, Svalbard offers all kinds of activities. You can hike through rugged Arctic landscapes, take boat trips to spot polar bears, or even go dog sledding on wheels. The endless daylight adds a surreal touch to everything. It makes you feel like time has stopped. Other great places in Norway to catch the midnight sun include the Helgeland coast and the island of Senja. The Helgeland coast has dramatic scenery, with towering peaks like the Seven Sisters glowing under the midnight sun. The other place is Senja, which is known as Norway in miniature, because it has a mix of mountains, beaches, and forests, all beautifully lit by the never-setting sun. If you are planning to see the midnight sun for yourself, the best time to visit is between late May and late July. But even if you miss this amazing experience, there is much more to witness here. Norway is as rich in its culture as it is in the landscape. From ancient structures to historic districts, these places tell the story of a nation that was shaped by Vikings, medieval architecture, and a deep connection to the sea. Two of the most significant cultural sites in Norway are the stave churches and Bergen's Bryggen. Let's start with the stave churches. These are some of the oldest wooden buildings in the world, which date back to the 12th and 13th centuries. They are unique to Norway and are known for their tall, steeply pitched roofs and beautiful wooden carvings. The name stave church comes from the vertical wooden posts, or staves, that form the framework of the building. These churches have a unique look, which you can't find anywhere else on the face of the earth. They have dark wood, layered roofs, and carved dragon heads. Whenever you enter one of these churches, you feel a clear connection to Norway's Viking heritage and how they practice both pagan and Christian traditions in their time. One of the most famous stave churches is the Ørnes Stave Church, which is located in Luster by the Geirangerfjord. This church is not only the oldest in Norway, but also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You will see beautiful carvings on the building, which feature detailed patterns of animals and plants. Another well-known example is the Borgund Stave Church in Lærdal, which is one of the best preserved stave churches in the country. People visit these churches to admire the craftsmanship and to experience a piece of history that has stood the test of time. Now, let's move on to Bergen's Bryggen. Located on the western coast of Norway, Bergen is the country's second largest city and has a rich history as a centre of trade. Bryggen, meaning the wharf, is the historic heart of the city. It dates back to the 14th century, when Bergen used to be a part of the Hanseatic League, which was a powerful trading network across northern Europe. The wooden buildings of Bryggen are painted with bright colours and have narrow alleyways. These features make them one of the most recognisable sights in Norway. Bryggen is not just beautiful to look at, it also tells an important story about Norway's past. The buildings were originally used by Hanseatic merchants for storage and offices, but are now home to museums, shops, and restaurants. Walking through Bryggen feels like going back in time, with the old architecture reminding us of Bergen's important role in history. In 1979, Bryggen was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. These are the most well-known places in Norway, but there are some hidden gems as well that most people miss during their trips. The first is Runde Island, which is located on Norway's western coast. This lovely place is a paradise for bird lovers. In fact, its common name is Bird Island. It is because Runde is home to over 500,000 seabirds during the breeding season, including puffins, gannets, and kittiwakes. The island's steep cliffs make it an ideal nesting ground. You can visit this spectacular place to watch these birds, and especially the puffins when they return to their burrows. But Runde is more than just about birds. The island has a beautiful coast with hidden beaches and hiking trails that provide breathtaking views of the Atlantic Ocean. Despite its natural beauty, Runde remains a quiet and peaceful destination, and most people don't know about it, which is why it is perfect for those looking to escape the crowds and enjoy nature in peace. After Runde, we have Saltstraumen, near the town of Bodø. It is where you will find the world's strongest tidal current. Every 6 hours, 400 million cubic meters of water surge through a narrow strait and create whirlpools up to 10 meters wide. You should visit this natural wonder if you want to see the raw power of nature. You can experience Saltstraumen up close on a boat tour, where you will feel the force of the water as it rushes through the strait. If you prefer to stay on land, there are several viewing points where you can safely watch the whirlpools. The area is also a great spot where you can go fishing because it has a rich marine life brought in by the strong currents. Cod, halibut, and other fish are found in abundance here, which is why anglers love fishing here. After exploring Saltstraumen, you have to visit Geirangerfjord as well. This place can be found in the Sunnmøre region near Ålesund. This 35-kilometer-long fjord is surrounded by the stunning Sunnmøre Alps, with high peaks that drop straight into the deep blue waters below. This is not a famous fjord, which is why you won't find many people here. You will get to enjoy a quieter, more secluded experience. There are also small villages along the fjord, like Sabo and Oye, where you get to see traditional Norwegian life. There are wooden houses and a peaceful atmosphere. You can also explore the fjord by boat, hike the surrounding mountains, or simply enjoy the tranquil beauty of the area. Places like Runde Island, Saltstraumen, and Geirangerfjord remain pristine and untouched, because Norway has a strong commitment to green tourism. The country works hard to protect its natural landscapes, making sure these hidden gems stay unspoiled for future generations. Green tourism in Norway focuses on minimizing the environmental impact of travel while supporting sustainable practices. Nearly 99% of Norway's electricity comes from renewable sources, mainly hydropower. The country also protects about 17% of its mainland as national parks and nature reserves. There are 36 national parks and 2,051 natural reserves that are keeping this country's stunning scenery well preserved. Norway's commitment to green tourism extends to the local communities. Many eco-friendly hotels and lodges are small, family-run businesses that use renewable energy, reduce waste, and source food locally. This approach protects the environment and also supports local economies. In recent years, Norway has made great efforts to reduce the carbon footprint of tourism. The government has a strong plan to make the country's fjords free of cruise ship emissions within the next few years. It is a big step toward cleaner air and water. Electric ferries and buses are already in use, which is cutting down on pollution in popular tourist spots. If you are planning to travel responsibly, there are a few easy ways you can contribute to green tourism. First of all, stay in eco-certified hotels and use public transportation or electric vehicles. When you are out there exploring nature, stick to marked paths to avoid disturbing wildlife and plant life. You should also carry a reusable water bottle and avoid single-use plastics to reduce waste. Supporting local businesses by buying locally made products and services is another way you can help keep the local economy strong and sustainable. If we all do our part, we can keep Norway's stunning fjords, cascading waterfalls, deep blue waters, and lush green landscapes just as breathtaking for those who come after us. We started from the majestic fjords and journeyed through Norway's stunning landscapes, rich history, and beautiful culture. From the powerful whirlpools of Saltstraumen to the peaceful solitude of Geirangerfjord, this country surprises its tourists around every corner. It is one of the few places on Earth where you can experience the midnight sun for months on end, or the breathtaking aurora borealis. And while we are talking about unique experiences, let's not forget the birdwatcher's paradise that is Runda Island, where over 500,000 seabirds flock each year. It is a place where nature, history, and those tiny pieces of natural wonders come together to create something truly special. What really makes Norway a great destination is its commitment to keeping these wonders intact. With almost all of its electricity coming from renewable sources and an impressive network of national parks, Norway is leading the way in sustainable travel. It's the kind of place that makes you want to explore more, discover hidden gems, and maybe even leave the world a little better than you found it. Would you like to visit this magical place?